Hello, welcome to another episode of Talkaholic Junction. I'm here with the lawyer that's going to get me out of my warrants, Zoe Jessie.
Hello. Hi.
Oh.
Hi, attorney at law. Actually, I'm not attorney at law, but hello.
Either way, she'll get you booked. No, that's a joke. That's a joke.
No, that's a joke. I just want to say at the top of this podcast that anything I say is not legal advice because I'm a lawyer now. So
that's weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's still crazy because I remember you talking about that when we first met, and now we're here now. Right. It's crazy to think about.
I've never been more consistent on anything else in my life than this, and I think it's out of stubbornness, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because not only are you a lawyer, but you're also one of the best field hockey players out of Kentucky too.
Oh, that's a bold claim, but I'll take it. If you're gonna say it, I'm not gonna deny it.
I'm gonna just say it just because I'm not gonna lie. I've seen everything you did from now to college. Oh my God, you did amazing. And at the same time, I had to see your picture every day at work.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the freaking Penn Station. We'll get to that, but yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, I try.
But I typically like starting off with a question.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a good one for you would be, what does your morning routine look like? Random, but
my morning routine. Oh my gosh. Well, I will just say right off the bat that I am a person that, once again, is not very consistent in my day-to-day habits. I like to switch it up. I like to change things. I don't like feeling like it's Groundhog Day and I'm waking up and doing the same thing. So with that caveat, I usually wake up at about 4:30 to 5 in the morning, which is early, but I blame my cats. My cats wake me up at 4:30 at 5 in the morning to feed them. At that point, I lay in bed for 30 minutes and contemplate life or turn on TV, whichever one works that day. And I usually get up out of bed like 5:30, maybe 6:30 if we're pushing it. I mean, I love to lay in bed. I love my bed. So get up, I make myself a little cup of coffee, and then I start the full face routine that is my skincare. It's not a lot of steps or anything, but I like to take my time with it. I like to start the day pampering myself, making myself feel good. So full skincare routine, and then figure out what the heck my hair is gonna look like that day. Can I cuss?
Yeah, this is all explicit.
All right,
it's explicit. Right. Like the last podcast, she was going ham with it. You're fine.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. Well, then, yeah, try to figure out what the hell fuck my hair is gonna do that day, and usually it just ends up in a bun because why not? And then I go out and either make breakfast or I will do like a little workout thing, maybe like 10-20 minute like yoga. Nothing hard in the morning. I've tried to do hard workouts in the morning and I feel exhausted by like 11 o'clock. So I can't do it anymore. So I try to do something light, move my body a little bit. But then some days it's just like if I wake up at like 6:30 or 7 and I need to drive to work, it's more just like get the cup of coffee, do skincare, get clothes on and go. But if I have time, do my little routine, hop in the shower for like a second if I got sweaty, but I try not to get sweaty that early in the morning because I hate it. And then I just get dressed and get ready for work. At that point, my cats need their second meal of the morning.
Hold on. Wait. Time out. So
I feed them right before I feed them when they wake me up at 4 a.m, and then I feed them right before I leave because my cats are fiends. They're so hungry all the time.
Kiwi's still eating her thing from this morning.
Oh my gosh. No, my cats are both fiends. I don't know. I guess they take after their mother, but I can eat like a champ and so can they. So that means I usually feed them right before I leave for work, pack my bag, put on my clothes, finish like any sort of jewelry or anything. I don't usually do makeup a lot of the time for work because like I'm not really seeing a lot of people at work. I'll put on maybe mascara, maybe an eyebrow, but like it's never a full face for work. So
yeah, same here. Just
I don't think you need it, especially for this podcast.
No, not at all.
No. This is an audio podcast, so that means we can look like.
You can look. I'm wearing shorts,
busted,
plain socks. I think there's a hole on the bottom.
See,
and like a hoodie.
I have jeans on, but I didn't know if it was an audio or visual podcast because I'd only listened to audio, and I was like, oh my god, maybe he has like video somewhere.
I was gonna make a video, but I switched it up
Okay.
because I was like, I don't know. And
It's
at the same time, I feel like it's a mess in here. So
yeah, I don't want to have to like clean for people.
yeah, somebody's watching like, what the fuck is that?
It's
Ew,
like,
this man is
zoom
disgusting.
in and be like, ooh, is that crusty sock?
Ooh, not the sock.
Not the sock. Well, then, yeah, I just, hop in the car, go to work, and work. Pretty much. Yeah, that's my day to day. Sometimes it switches up. Sometimes I do tea instead of coffee. Sometimes I just shower because I'm a sweaty person. And sometimes I literally just get up and put on clothes and try to make it to work on time. And that's it.
Shoot. What, not to make it a cat podcast, but when did you get a second cat? Because I knew you had the first one, and I guess the cat that you brought here wasn't fucking with Barry, I think.
No. I mean, let's start out with my first beautiful cat, Artemis. She's a calico. She's great. I got her like 3 or so, 4 years ago almost. But I got a second cat because I saved him from the road. Like, he was on the side of the road. So I was driving home actually from Louisville to Lexington one morning, and I saw this little black like blob in the road in front of me. And I was like, this could either be like a dead animal or like, I don't know, who knows what it could be in Louisville nowadays. But I saw it move. And I was like, you know what? I usually don't pull over for anything, but I'm going to pull over right now. And luckily I did, because it was my beautiful baby Hermes. He is an all black cat. I don't actually, if I can find a photo off the bat, I'll show you, but I probably don't have one because actually, yeah, I do. I just have a picture of him sitting and looking out, and there's Artemis underneath there. Yeah, he is all black. But yeah, he was 2 weeks old when I found him. So he was like literally teacup kitten. And I was like, well, I gotta take him home. Like, I'm not giving him to the shelter. There's no fucking way. So he came home with me, and he's the bane of my existence some days. And I'm glad that he can't understand anything I say because, yeah, he sucks sometimes. But he's also the love of my life, and he's so cuddly. So
I feel that. Like, I love the hell out of Kiwi, but she'll answer to bitch, and I feel bad now. Bitch, she'll just come with meow. Catnip.
Oh my god, the things that I call Hermes, like, if he was like an actual child, he would go to school and be like, hi, my name is Motherfucker. Nice to meet you, because that's what my mom calls me all the time. I don't cuss on a day-to-day basis around like the house or at work, but like when it comes to talking to Hermes, like, there's a side that comes out. But I love him to death. He's great. He just is a kitten. He's only, like 6 months now? So he's just a kitten. He'll grow out of it. Hopefully. I also got him snapped. Got those balls off. So
oh yeah, like I said, I didn't understand. Your parents were right. I did not know how bad it got. Because Kiwi, because I got a female cat. She was leaving wet marks everywhere, and that was disgusting.
Yeah.
And when one wet mark got on me, it was over with. I was like, yeah, it's time to get the.
Yeah, my family grew up with cats, and most of them were girl cats. And I actually don't think we've ever had a boy cat until Crosby. But yeah, if you don't get the girls fixed soon, they start making everything damp.
Yeah, they're like a woman on 7th Street. That's it. That's all it is. And for everybody that's not from Louisville, 7th Street, don't go there. It's right next to Churchill Down. Don't do it. But interesting news, you are engaged now. How's that feel?
I am. I mean, it feels like a long time coming, but also like I'm a little schoolgirl and like giddy and excited and like falling in love again for the first time. I mean, my fiance, his name is Colin. He has been with me for, oh my gosh, almost 7 years now. We're at our 6 years and we'll be 7 in April. And I mean, I love the kid to death. Like, he's my ride or die. And so we always knew that we were going to get married, obviously, but we were both in graduate school. We both were like, the thought of even planning a wedding during school, stupid. So let's wait until after. And so I had a huge expectation of like, once he graduates, he's a year younger than me. So he still has one more year of school right now. I was like, once he graduates, then we'll set it up and he'll like do the whole thing and he'll prep it. But then one weekend he was like, let's go on a spontaneous out of town trip. And I was like, okay, but like why? And also who's paying for it? And he was like, well, before we go, I have to like go to Louisville, like super quick. Like I have to like help my mom with something in Louisville. I'm like, on a random Tuesday at 2:00?
Question mark?
Sure? And so I kind of clued in and I was like, yeah, I think he's going to propose. And I went and got my nails done and I showed him and he was like, shit, she knows. She knows I'm going to propose to her. But like, don't mess with girls, okay? They know. They just know. So I got my nails done and we went to North Carolina and we drove on top of the Blue Ridge Mountains, like the highest peak on this side of the, I was going to say equator, not the equator, the Appalachian, Appalachian Mountains.
I'm about to say, ooh.
Take my law degree away from me. No, and we were up there by ourselves and I was taking pictures and turned around and he was down there just proposing and stuff. So yeah, now that the honeymoon's still there, but now that it's all settled down, I am planning a wedding. It's for 2025, so I have some time, not really rushing in or anything. But I'm just so excited. It feels like, marrying your best friend is like the one thing that should be on everyone's bucket list at some point. If not marrying, then just like meeting and being with your best friend for the rest of your life or as long as possible. So,
yep. Like I said on the last one, the dating pool sucks now. So if you got a good one,
oh my gosh, trust me. I talk to Colin about it all the time. I'm like, you're lucky that boys are shit. You're lucky that they all suck because I'm not going anywhere and you're not leaving me. And Colin feels the same. He's like, these girls nowadays. I'm like, girls, I've been your first and only girlfriend. You haven't dated.
Yeah, because like I ain't gonna throw no names out there, but my last situation, you seen
God.
that one.
Oh my
so
God.
we ain't gonna get in
that
detail.
Could be like a whole podcast in itself.
Yes.
Like a whole, like one of those true crime podcasts. It really could be. Yeah, no. Dating sucks. People suck, especially nowadays. So I'm so lucky that I got a good person. I just really am. Like I can't, hashtag blessed. Hashtag blessed. Throwing it all the way back. Throwing it back. Man.
So we got that, but let's get into your early stages. Mm-hmm. What got you to where you are now? Like, what was your influence? Who were your influences? Like, what, drove you to be the person that you are now?
Man, I kind of thought about this question when asking you, like, what we were going to be talking about or whatever. And there are so many. So I'll just kind of, like, sum it up in terms of, like, when I remember forming, like, a true thought about what the future was going to be. Because I feel like there are some people out there that know what they're going to do at a super, super young age. But for me, I was just cruising and bruising, right? I was like, I at one point wanted to be a vet. At one point, I wanted to be like a PR person and do like marketing. And then one point I wanted to be a journalist and blah, blah, blah. And I think the biggest, cutoff in having to pivot in my life was I did want to be a journalist for a while. So I applied to Manual through their journalism, like little section. I don't even know what it's called anymore. That tells you how impactful it was on my life, truly. But I applied and I got rejected. And that was the first time that I'd ever truly been rejected, especially academically. And it put into perspective, like, okay, maybe journalism isn't what I'm supposed to do. This is also a middle schooler going into high school. Let's talk about how at even that young of an age, I was like, oh, I need to do something and have something planned for my life. So all of a sudden done, I get rejected from Manual, which if for people that aren't in Louisville specifically, because even Kentuckians don't really understand, but like Manual is like basically a private public high school where you have to apply. I think it's still like that.
Yes, you still have to apply. They're still number one in Kentucky academics.
Yeah. So, but there are 4 different sections of it. And you have like a math and STEM section, you have like your journalism, marketing, writing, and communication section. You have just your basic like high school, but like everything is AP class level, smart kids. And then you have Y Pass, which is their performing arts. And I was between Y Pass because I did choir and the communications. And I was like, I don't want to do choir for my life. I want to do journalism at the time, but got rejected. Like, thought about it and was like, well, what do I do now? Like, I love writing. Writing was the thing that really, you know, made me show up to school when we got to write stuff. That was what made me actually pay attention, and English and stuff. So actually, I love the story, and I tell the story in interviews too because I think it's just a good foundational story. But we had a mock trial at school. I also went to performing arts school, but we had a mock trial in my English class, and I got picked randomly to be the defense attorney. If y'all don't know, defense attorneys are the one defending what are quote unquote the bad guys, right? The people in trouble. So it was a story about a kid who pulled down a girl's pants in school, and I was defending the guy who pulled down this girl's pants. I know.
Wait a minute. This is in school?
This is in school.
Sexual harassment. That's wild.
This is in school. But like my professor was like, this is a great exercise for all of us to like, one, learn how the legal system works, which like, okay, cool. But also to learn like how to get along with each other, because like we had to be on a team. Like I had my defense attorneys that were with me. At the time, I didn't know that what any of this stuff really was, right? I think this was literally 8th grade. Didn't get what any of this stuff was. But I played my little defense attorney role. You know, I've watched Law and Order. You know, I've watched my fair share of lawyer shows. I know what a lawyer talks like and looks like in court. So I did that whole spiel, whatever. But I caught the girl who got her pants pulled down. I caught her lying on the stand, literally with her pants pulled down. I caught her lying on the stand. She lied to the principal about the story. And so I caught her on stand and I won the case.
Wait, this is a real thing that happened?
No, this is made up. No, this is so made up. Could you imagine? Instead of like dealing with it internally, they were like, oh, let's let all of the kids decide who is guilty and who is not. I mean, that's probably better than our criminal justice system anyway. But yeah, no, this is all made up. This was made up, everybody.
Okay, I had to make sure.
But I caught her lying on the stand. It was like a hooray moment, like Zoe's cool or whatever. But it really got me thinking about, oh, maybe I'm good at law. Maybe I understand law. Maybe I get it. So I think from then on, I was like, I want to be a lawyer. And I dove in. And for basically high school, the formative part of what I wanted to do was go to law school. And that was literally the turning point. In terms of like the people that got me here, I mean, my parents, obviously, they've supported anything that I've wanted to do. I had a lot of really good teachers in middle school. In high school, I did not like the teachers in high school. Skip. Not good teachers in high school. There's one teacher in high school I'll talk about in a second, but most of my middle school teachers were the ones that were like, do exactly what you want to do and nothing else. Like, don't, conform to what your parents want or what this person wants, especially at a young age. I didn't really get what that meant. But as I grew up, I kind of kept those words in my head, like, do exactly what you want to do and nothing else. So that played into sports, played into, my social life probably a little too much. And I just went with it. Stubbornness, consistency, whatever you want to call it. I said, I'm going to law school. I'm doing the thing. And I got here. And those were really the formative years, just trying to figure that out. In high school, there was one professor who has passed away now, Mr. Liga.
Whoa, when did he pass away?
He passed away like, I think at least a couple years ago.
I did not know that.
I thought he did. Maybe he didn't. If I find him, I'm going to hit him up too. Because he was the only professor that I really, truly enjoyed and saw as a mentor at that school. And he went to law school and he like did political science and he taught at Bellarmine part-time. And like, I think anytime I asked him about law and how to apply to schools and college and what to keep in mind, he always gave me a straight answer, never BS me, which as a high schooler, is hit or miss. Sometimes you don't want the BS, but sometimes you really need the BS.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So, I that was it. And I guess now I'm here, But those were the early years,
There's early years. Now
Those were the early years.
after high school, college.
So
how were those? Well, let me, instead of just getting straight into it, what was the toughest thing about college?
God. I think the toughest thing about college was the social aspect. I know that may be a very unexpected answer for people. If nobody knows, I went to a very small liberal arts, like private college, basically. And so academically, it was tough. It was rigorous. I mean, I would have hundreds of pages of reading a night, and you would think, oh, that's the toughest thing, is the homework and the writing and the keeping up with stuff. But honestly, the toughest thing was the social part. I didn't go to a big public university, but I think if I did, I would have the exact same problem. Like finding the good people that are for you because they want to be for you, and versus the people that are there to just be better than everyone else, versus the people that are there to just like throw away their life and like not even care. Because like you do not have to go to college.
No.
You don't have to go to college to be successful in the slightest, especially more now than ever. So some people just use their parents' money to go, which is perfectly fine, but then they're like, oh well, I don't really care, I'm gonna get a degree, I'm gonna get a big nice job with my family, and I'm not gonna have to care another day of my life. So weeding out the people that don't fit your values and finding a good core group of people was definitely the hardest. I went through a lot of friend groups over the 4 years of my career, and I could only imagine someone who only goes to like 2 years of college, or like who doesn't go to college at all, or goes to a huge public university where you have classes filled with hundreds and hundreds of people. I think finding your core people is the hardest part. If you get lucky and you find them right out the gate, then that's great. Also, I was in a sorority, and you would think in a sorority it would be easier. It's only harder.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I was walking to do my laundry, which I'm still doing right now, and this is before your parents like switched up the back area. I seen a picture of your thing, and I'm like, yeah, I can spot Zoe. Boom, right there. You was the only one with melanin that was right there. I think there was one other one, and I was like, boom, there's Zoe. And then I said, all right, let me go dry my clothes.
Yeah, and this is definitely a where you're from and where you're going kind of question too. If I was like one of the only, not even just Black people, but just people of color at Transy. I was the only person of color basically at Holy Cross, my high school. I was one of the only people of color, even in my law school. So like living in a place like Kentucky where it's going to be, white on white on white, and there's going to be like a speck of people of color everywhere. It's going to be harder. But I think just overall getting thrown into a situation where you don't have a structured way to meet people, it was hard. And then a structured way to keep people around, it was definitely very, very hard for me. And I think I maybe have one friend that I got out of college, like one good core friend.
Like Transylvania, or are you talking about Transylvania in UK?
Transylvania.
Okay.
My law school experience was completely different, like the opposite end of the spectrum, actually. I found so many friends that were all true and good friends right away. And I've kept that core group of friends to this day. We talk every single day. So it was a very big jump for me, but I'm very glad that I got that at least. I can also talk more about that too. But
oh yeah, if you want, you can get in depth. Like, well, before we get into UK, Transylvania, just like we got today, we gotta get the positive. What was the best thing that came out of Transylvania?
I think the best thing that came out of Transy, at least for me, was a sense of confidence in myself to carry through with the things that I want to do. Like even in high school, you're really kind of pushed to go to college, at least right now, right? But like, you have people kind of holding your hand to do that every step of the way. If it's not your parents, if it's not your teachers, if it's not forcing you to take ACTs and AP tests and stuff, like, people are forcing you basically to do that whether you like it or not. And what you do with that information is like, that's the final straw. But at the most part, everyone had to take the ACT, or at least a practice ACT. Everyone had to do it. In college, you really are free reign. You put as much or as little effort into all of your academics, your work, your career, what you want to do after. You do it all yourself. And so that was the first time that I was really on my own and being like, if I want my future to be successful, I gotta set it up myself.
Yeah.
That meant cold calling people to get jobs, joining sororities, joining organizations. I didn't have to do all that. And it was a pain in the ass sometimes to do all that. But nobody was doing it for me. Not even my parents. My parents were like, all right, cool, you're gonna join stuff. That's great. That's cool. We're gonna support you regardless, right? But even going to law school and signing up for law school, that was also all on my own. I talked to my parents and they're like, you go to law school, you're paying for it on your own. You're doing all the testing on your own. Like, I had to set up the dates and set up the scheduling and do my own studying. Like, it taught a lot of discipline, especially academically, but just in life. And so I think Transy was very, very good at doing that. Transy was very good at, one, having people help you where you need it, but also making you realize, like, I'm not going to do anything if no one else is pushing me. I loved my experience at Transy from an academic perspective. I had great teachers and great people that were like, okay, you want to apply to law school? Great. How are you going to do that? What are your next steps? Not saying, okay, here is a 10-step plan. Let me give it to you and hold your hand through it. They were like, well, how are you going to do it? What do you want to do? Figure that out. Talk to people. Go call people. So just that balance between mentorship and pushing you to do stuff on your own was definitely a Transy-centric thing, but just a college thing in general too. So yeah. Oh, that was a good enough answer for all you people thinking about college out there.
It's a scam. No, I'm joking. It's a scam. In a way. In a way.
If it was free, no. If it was free, no. And I had to work my butt off to get scholarships too. And it still wasn't technically free for me.
I feel that.
So sad. But that's my own fault. It's fine. I chose to go to an expensive college. I didn't have to. I did not have to. But I did. And here I am. So.
Now UK, let's get, because you started off with that. What was the positive from UK? Because I feel like you had 10 times more positive coming from UK than...
Oh, yeah. I had the best 3 years of my life at UK. I love UK law. I love the people I met at UK law. And there's a lot of positive. There's a lot of negatives too. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of positives in my experience. But I think the biggest positive of UK is the relationships that I made. Relationships with friends and colleagues and peers, but also relationships with professors, my mentors, and even the dean of the school, who I think is leaving actually next year. But the dean of the school took me under her wing and like made me feel like an actual person instead of a number on a page. Like, the relationships I made in law school are ones that I will cherish for the rest of my life. And I think that is a UK law thing, because when I hear stuff about law school, it's not good. If anyone out there is thinking about law school, you will hear horror stories. And some of those horror stories are true, of people sabotaging you and people throwing you under the bus so that they can get a better grade, because we are all ranked by a number. And I expected that going into law school, and my expectations were completely killed. Like, people were competitive. All right. I went to law school. That's like type A breeding ground. Like, if you are a type A person, you go to law school. That's just it. Mm-hmm. So I had people that were definitely competitive, but we were never competitive to the fault of anyone else. And I think I just got really lucky with that. I think I did. I don't know if that's just a me thing, or if that's a UK law thing, or if that's just a universal thing, but I've made some great friends. I have my core group of friends right now. I love them to death. I mean, I could talk about more positives all day, but you know what? Let's talk about a negative.
Let's get to a negative. UK.
Look, Look, I mean, it's law school. You cannot tell anyone that law school is a good experience. Law school itself as an institution is not a good experience, and it needs to be changed drastically. And I could this was actually what I was hoping my podcast would be when I made one in law school, but I never did. Law school needs to be changed. It is antiquated, run by old white men that suck and think that mental health is not real. So it sucks. You are given a lot of work and pressure and stress that is so unnecessary, and it is literally just to weed out people. It is just to make people weak and leave. And I got lucky because UK law is slowly on the verge of getting rid of that, but it's professor based. So if all of your professors are old white people, old white men specifically, then they're going to be like, yeah, no, I'm going to teach you the way I was taught in law school, which is out of fear and stress and anxiety. But if you get good professors that are emerging and progressive and younger, then you have much more of a collaborative space and like how law should be, which is collaborative. Those are the times when I was like, yeah, I really like this class because like we're actually talking and not just sitting in a lecture and waiting to be called on. I don't know if y'all don't know what cold calling is. Cold calling is where you're basically sitting in class, the professor is lecturing, and then we'll just randomly call someone's name.
Oh no.
Randomly. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So, you know, you're sitting there, you're taking your notes, you got highlighters and all of the things in front of you, and then you hear, Miss Jessie, what do you think was the jurisprudence behind Justice Alito's decision in the case of chocolate v. vanilla? Okay. And you're like, one, that was an assigned reading. You find out that it was a footnote in the reading on page 300 that you did not read because you did not get to page 300. And then they just continue to hound you. They don't like let you go if you're like, oh, I don't know the answer. They don't just like, okay, cool, move on. Some professors do, but most professors don't. Yeah. And then, okay, one last negative, which is just a negative because the world sucks, but like I started law school during COVID. I was the first class of law students to be fully online. And I mean, we all understand how it means to be online now and how it means to be home and sad. Imagine doing law school and being alone and sad and online. It was horrible. My first year of law school sucked and my grades were horrible. It was just bad. But I mean, that's just kind of like a of the times thing. That's not really a law school thing.
That was the universe.
It just sucked. So yeah, that is the pros and cons of law school, everybody. You can make some good friends, but you can be really stressed and sad for most of it.
Go college.
Go college. I will also say I made my last year stressful on myself when I didn't need to. So it's kind of they have like a saying in law school. It's like the first year we scare you to death. The second year we work you to death. And the third year we bore you to death. So like I got through the scare me to death year. I got through the stress me to death year. And then I should have had the bore me to death year, but I didn't. I decided to be president of the student body. And that ruined my life in all the best ways, but it ruined my life. So I chose that. That was a personal decision that I don't recommend.
But you wouldn't go back and change it, would you?
Oh, no. No, yeah. I wouldn't change it. I would change how I did it, but I wouldn't change doing it because, I mean, it's like a resume booster.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was the president of the student body at my law school.
Sly.
I slayed so hard. And I brought some culture to that law school, too. Let me tell you. I had, for Black History Month, we had a whole showcase of Black performers and Black artists. And that had never been done before, not even talked about before at the law school. And I did it with the Black Law Student Association there. So at least I brought some culture. At least I brought some good culture to that school.
And about culture, you brought up old white men. Do you think there should be an age limit in some of the things that comes to law and like them doing? Because I'm not gonna lie, looking at Mitch in that one.
Oh,
I know that's not law, but still.
I mean, that is law enough because those people should know the law. They don't. They literally make the law and they don't know it. They don't know how it impacts everybody. I don't know if I am qualified enough to say whether there should be an age limit. However, I think there definitely should be like performance reviews.
Yes.
At a certain time. I know specifically there's something going on right now with Judge Newman, who sat on the Murdaugh case. Mm-hmm. Alex Murdaugh, the weird, creepy guy that like killed his family and all that fun stuff. There's a bunch of those out there. That's not detailed at all. But Judge Newman is, senile and old and needs to like get off the bench, right? But like nobody, like there's not a lot of checks to judges like that. There's not a lot of checks to lawyers like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are some lawyers that are up there in age and they should probably like retire, but if that paycheck keeps coming in, then they can come into the office like once a week and say hi and then leave and get that paycheck. They're going to keep doing it. So I think there definitely needs to be like a cutoff of like, you've been barred for 30 years now. Let's check in and see how you're doing. Maybe even every just 10 years. Every 10 years, be like, let's check in and see how you're doing. And then the people that are, up there that are a little senile and crazy and stuff, I feel like there should be a protocol to be like, all right, I think it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go to the big law firm in the sky.
Just relax your days in Florida and just calm down.
Just retire to Florida already. But,
or Frankfurt if you're from Kentucky.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But student debt keeps lawyers in their jobs for way too long. So, I don't know. It sucks. But, yeah, that's what I think, at least, in my very unqualified opinion.
I just had to ask that because, not this one, but the other podcast, that's when the whole Mitch thing kind of happened. Yeah. And we were just kind of like, we're like, what the hell? This man just what threw me off is what threw me off is like, this way, Mitch. And I was like, no.
This way. I mean, even our man Joe.
Yeah.
Joseph, if you're listening right now, it's okay. It's okay to be old. I mean, I stay where you are, but also it's okay to be old.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've literally heard some people be like, yeah, no, old people just need to be killed off at a certain age.
Oh,
like,
damn.
I've heard people say that. So like, I don't know if it's
that sounds
ageism,
like
but like, yeah, no.
That sounds like some midsummer shit.
Literally, like, oh, the elders need to part from us.
Off a cliff.
Off a cliff onto a rock.
You're still moving.
I mean, there are some people out there that like, I would be mad if I saw them.
Oh Lord.
But
that's understandable.
Those are the really bad people. I promise. No, I mean, so I've had a case before where I've seen like, I see like bar complaints of people sometimes, and the bar complaints are like, these people are old and senile and can't do anything. So get them out. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I get it. Now, with everything that's happened in your life from age 0 to, I can't remember your year, or are you a year under me?
Like an age?
Yeah.
I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 26.
I'm 25.
Okay, so from 0 to 25, what's next in the journey of Zoe Jessie?
I mean, it is probably a very boring answer, and you probably have had so many other people that are much more interesting to talk to. But what's next for me is continuing my career, growing in my career. I would love to practice or be a part of almost every single stage of law, government by the time that I'm done. I've already done government work. I want to work at a firm. I want to do defense work. I would love to do plaintiff's work. I want to do crim law. I want to do, some family law if I can. I want to do it all. And that's because I love it all. Mm-hmm. So just growing my career is one next step. But I also really want to start focusing on my freaking hobbies. Okay. Remember hobbies, and remember having things that you're interested in.
I think the last known hobby I known you had was baking, and that was very heavy.
And I definitely don't do that anymore. Actually,
Yeah.
I've gotten worse at baking, weirdly.
No. Bacon. Like
Bacon.
Yes.
Oh, I've also fallen off on my baking
really?
hobby. No, I don't eat bacon really anymore, actually, which is kind of crazy. Now I'm kind of craving some bacon, actually. But I want to be a multifaceted person. I would love to eventually even jump from law to another like career. Like I've thought about doing marketing. I've thought about doing like project management. The biggest thing that I would love to do, and this is like not really a secret. I've talked to a few people about it. If my parents listen to this, I only haven't told them about it because like I don't know when it's going to happen. But I would love to get a degree in some sort of technology, IT, coding, something, because if I need to jump careers
Yeah.
or if I want to jump careers, I want to be equipped. So at some point in the future, I would love to be a multifaceted, like coding, lawyer, marketing, hobby induced woman.
Pretty much multi-talented.
Yeah, multi-talented. And then obviously get married. I do want to have some babies. I want to have two, so hopefully they'll pop out eventually. I don't know when that'll happen.
Go Zoe, go.
Yeah.
Go Zoe, go.
But that's probably a super boring answer. I probably should have had a better answer.
No, that's not boring. That's
probably should have been like, I want to be the president of the United States of America. I want to be on the Supreme Court.
I want to be on CoverGirl.
Oh my God, yeah. I would love to be an actress. Oh my gosh, like give me a record deal. I'll get back into singing. Like I'll do it all. So yeah, I kind of want to do anything that my heart desires. And right now, that is law. So I'm gonna stick with it for now.
Okay. Shoot. Now, let me scroll through, cause not gonna lie. I hate this laptop with a passion.
Get a new one. I don't know what to tell you. Actually, I do have a laptop at home that I need to fix, and if I fix it, you can have it.
Okay, and if you get into coding, I'm going to tell you it's the funnest thing in the world. I love coding.
I like started like a code academy, just like doing my little like if then, and I absolutely love it so far. But I've always loved technology. Like I've been a technology buff from when I literally first held a cell phone in my hand, which was when I was like in elementary school and my parents got me a cell phone so that I could call them if something happened on the bus ride home.
Yeah.
And from then on, I would buy phones like on eBay. I would like jerry rig my computer to like jailbreak everything.
Did you jailbreak your iPhone or?
No, I didn't jailbreak my iPhone actually, but I did buy like 2 or 3 phones at once to just like tinker with them. And I made like a freaking computer out of random stuff. I just love technology. I always have, always will. But I think I've had a brand new phone every year ever since I got that first phone. Literally.
Yeah, because I remember you gave me one of yours. It was the Note 4. I remember that.
Oh my God. Oh, that was such a good phone too. I was getting out my phones the other day and I had like the OG like Galaxy, like and like the I think it was the Pixel 2 with like the thumbprint reader on like the back, and like when you held it, the thumbprint reader was perfectly your index. Yeah. Oh, I was like, bring these back. And then I could go into just like sidekicks and like keyboards, physical keyboards, bring physical keyboards back. I don't know how. If I can do one thing with any information technology, it is finding a way to attach a physical keyboard to my gosh darn phone. Like that's it. So hopefully I can figure that out soon.
Yeah, I think they have like actually you can plug up a keyboard to your phone.
No, I'm talking about I want to convert my iPhone.
Oh, no, you want to actually
I want to convert my iPhone into a sidekick.
Like you
specifically. Like y'all remember sidekicks where you like you click it and it like slide.
Oh, and then the little ball.
And the little ball. I want to convert my iPhone into that. I would like to somehow take my iPhone screen and put it into a sidekick. That I'm going to figure out how to do that one day. I don't know how, but I will.
Apple needs to sponsor Zoe now for this.
Apple, bring me on, okay? I understand how your whole ecosystem works. We can make it happen. I promise. I study your ecosystem probably more than I should.
It's a banger. It's a banger. You know what?
I mean, there's a reason. Do you know that now 84% of teenagers have iPhones?
I can believe that.
84% of people under 18 have iPhones. That is not only monopoly level stuff, like big business taking over everything. That's just insane. I just can't.
That's what, because the thing is, we come from a generation. Yes, I know we're not that old, but we come in when phones, Androids were the best things out, and I love the hell out.
Like the thing that you got. Like if you were rich, you got iPhones. Like you knew the rich kid in the room if they had an iPhone because they had like the nice little, like, oh my gosh, I remember when it turned to a square and everyone was like, oh my god, I want the rectangle phone. Like that was it. But other than that, like you had your Android, you had your flip phones. Like that was what we grew up on. And now it's like if you don't have an iPhone and I see a green bubble come across my screen, I literally pass out. So I just ignore it.
That's why I have an iPhone. I had an Android and I loved the hell out of it, but I did not get any type of response.
I'm still thinking about switching back. Okay, I'm still thinking about switching back. Also, sorry, I could have a tech podcast.
No, it's fine.
But it's called the Nothing phone, and I'm plugging it because this is the way that Android users can like have a blue bubble. There's a phone called the Nothing phone, and they have made an app that connects to your iMessage, and you have the blue bubble. It has all of the same.
So you saying I can go back to Android?
You can't. It kind of looks like an iPhone too, but it's prettier because iPhones have not changed at all. They look the exact same. They're kind of boring. But yeah. Also, there's a whole thing about how Apple could easily just let iMessage be on other phones, and they just don't. But yeah, this Nothing phone is going to try to fix that. So
you just made me think about it. You can get Apple Music on Android, but you can't get iMessage.
You can't get iMessage. You can't.
Because that used to be a bummer back in college. It'd be like, hey, play me in this, and I'm like, I have an Android. Yeah. The next thing you know is no response.
No, it's like it's weird how it works, but yeah, there's a phone company out there at least trying to do it. So maybe this will be the first step in Androids being able to text iPhones. We'll see.
But they can text iPhones, but
but without the judgment.
Yeah, you get judged.
You get judged very hard.
They see that green bubble, peasant. Gross.
I've literally had friends be like, I want to invite them, but I don't want to text them because the green. Like I'm like, it's not that deep. Oh my god,
it's not that deep. But you know what? The Android's emojis are ugly as hell. I will say that they're funny, but kind of
they are ugly. But like we had the blue. I like the blue bubbles or like iPhone and stuff. Because like read receipts, like that's why I always was like, oh, I need to text you. You have an iPhone because read receipts. Mm-hmm. But now nobody uses read receipts, so it's just like it's a status thing. We all know.
And now people are deleting messages too.
Oh my god, yeah! The fact that they even put that function in there, crazy. Apple knows what they're doing. Apple's
trying to get people in trouble. That's what they're trying to do.
I know. They probably got a lot of people in trouble at this point. But at least they'll keep your data locked up. They keep it sealed. They won't let anyone take your data. That's it.
I hope nobody gets my data. I will get judged.
What's the Apple CEO's name? What's his name? Tim Ferry? I don't know.
Oh, that's right. The other dude passed.
Tim Cook.
Tim Cook?
Tom Nook? Tom Nook, leader of Apple, says, yeah, you can have your fancy new iPhone. You just need to pay me 20 billion bells and build up my town. Oh my god.
Oh man. But we're getting to the end, and my favorite thing to do is ask a random question, but you pick a number between 1 and 15.
7.
Can we switch? Because we've done that one before.
The 14.
Ooh.
I like my 7s.
Oh, I think you might like this one. I don't know.
Okay.
What would be the title of the book about you if your worst enemy wrote it?
Ah. Oh my gosh. Well, first, let me think of my worst enemy. I probably have quite a lot. To all my worst enemies listening to this.
Fuck you.
Worst enemy. Oh my god.
Oh god. You ain't gotta say the name.
No,
but,
I'm trying
okay.
to think of a title that doesn't include some sort of slur and or cuss word.
Like when you say slur, do you mean racial slur?
I mean, yeah.
Oh god.
I would say my worst enemy, if you're out there, I don't even know if you remember who I am now, but we were worst enemies at one point. The book would probably be titled oh
god.
How to Ruin Someone's Life.
Jesus.
My personal Zoe's story. Because the person that I'm thinking of, or the people that are probably like my worst enemies, are people that genuinely believe I somehow ruined their lives. But once again, I haven't talked to these people in years, and I hope that's not true anymore. But I'm trying to think of these people at the time that I interacted with them, and they truly believe that I like ruined their lives. So I think the book about me would be like the girl that ruins people's lives, or how to ruin a life, or something like that.
I'm not gonna lie, but that's a very good. I'd buy the book because I'm addicted.
Right, but like that's a good book because you're like, oh, I'm just picking it up because I'm like interested, you know, like I'm not actually gonna ruin someone's lives, and like maybe it has some good tips in there just in case, just in case
somebody's a dickhead.
Just
you never
in
know.
case. I don't know. I think that's probably the best title. That once again is not some sort of like bad word or slur or anything, but yeah, you know, I hope they're not worst enemies anymore, but I don't know. I try not to have enemies anymore. I think that's the whole point.
No,
I'm growing up and being mature, gross, disgusting. Boo.
So we ain't got to put in podcasts. Now I'm concerned. What would have been the slur you think they would have said? You can mouth it. You ain't got to say it. But you can mouth it.
I mean,
oh yeah.
You know the one, something along those lines. And I guess it's not like that super bad word, but definitely something with slut in it. That's not like a slur, but like, I mean, maybe just a book that's just titled Slut. That would be
Isn't
great.
there a book named that already?
Probably.
Or a movie? Something?
Probably. There's probably something like that. But, you know, I feel like all the people that I'm thinking of have thought that about me quite a bit. And we're talking about, like, this is high school years, y'all. I haven't had, like, anyone truly, truly despise me after high school, but y'all know who you are if you're going to listen to this.
Yeah, I'm still one.
So, I'm joking. This is actually, you have tricked me into coming onto this podcast, and it's going to be like a true crime series. Like, Zoe Jessie, how she has ruined people's lives.
Goes from color to black and white photos.
So how has she ruined your life? Well, it started on one fateful day.
The Law and Order bell in the background.
Dun dun. No, I think that's it. But,
okay. Now, is there anything you want to shout out, plug, or put in?
Yeah, actually, I do. For one, I started streaming on Twitch. So
wait, what? What are you playing?
It is. I literally have like 3 videos up. But I'm playing childhood games that I love that I think nobody else has like played or recognized. So I'm starting a game called Cameo. I don't know if anyone knows what this game is, but I have 1 follower and he knows what it is and he helps me a lot when I'm on stream. So, but yeah, I just wanted to start playing games that I like know and love that I haven't really seen a lot, and I was like, why not share it with people? Like, it's not hard to just like turn on the webcam. It's very rough and at it. So I'll shout out that my Twitch name is Unqualified Expert. Literally Unqualified Expert. How cringy is that? But I love it. I feel like that every day. So I'll shout out that. The second thing I want to shout out, which is getting a little sentimental here, but my best friend, one of my best friends in law school, passed away in May of this year. His name was Logan Johns. And we have all gotten together and started a scholarship fund for Logan to help law students who don't come from the means to go to law school. Logan was the most generous and kind person that I know, and I want this scholarship fund to go through the roof. So I'm shouting that out. The website just dropped for it, and I think Logan's family would absolutely love any contribution because it shows like Logan's impact. And if anyone knows Logan, he definitely impacted every single person he came across. So I'm hoping that the scholarship fund does that in his name. So shout that out. I think that's it.
If you want, you can send me the links and I can put it in the episode description. Yeah. And then not only that, I could put it on my Instagram story.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that. Even just the tiniest amount. Because once again, like Logan went to law school from a place where people don't go to law school. He came from rural Kentucky, but he had the heart of gold, and I think that he would have loved this. So yeah, I'll definitely send you a link. Go and check it out. Go and check me out if you want, I guess. But yeah, I think that's all I have to shout out.
Okay. And also, guys, remember, November's still going on for men's health, prostate test school, suicide, all that. That's still in my bio until the end of November. Help my mustache out. That's what they say. I don't know. No. But I'm gonna put all this in the description. Y'all check it out. Donate. Do what y'all need to do. And thank you for coming to another episode.
Yeah.
Music in the background. I'm leaving that in.